Think being nice makes you a good person, right? Well, here's the truth. Being too nice is actually sabotaging your life. It's holding you back in your career, relationships, and personal growth. Sounds harsh? It is. But it's the truth. Being nice all the time doesn't make you respected. It makes you a doormat. Let me show you why. So, you're that person who's always saying yes. The one who can't say no, even when you really don't want to. Whether it's staying late at work for someone who doesn't appreciate it, or going along with something you know isn't right just to keep the peace, it all adds up. Here's the thing, being too nice isn't about being a good person. It's about avoiding discomfort. You're doing it because you don't want to deal with conflict. You don't want to disappoint people. But here's the catch, you're disappointing yourself in the process. When you're constantly putting others' needs above your own, you lose sight of what you want, and you end up feeling resentful. Nice people get used, plain and simple. When you're always saying yes, people start to expect it. You're the go-to person, the easy target for favors. They know you won't push back, and why would you? You're too busy trying to be liked. But what happens? People stop respecting you. You're the one who stays late at work, taking on extra responsibilities. Not because you want to, but because you can't say no. And guess what? You're not getting credit for it. You're not getting a promotion. You're just getting more work. And the worst part? You're starting to resent the very people you're trying to please. Now, there's a difference between being nice and being kind. Let's break that down. Being nice is all about seeking approval. It's about saying yes, even when you want to say no. Kindness, on the other hand, is about respect. It's about understanding that your needs matter and knowing when to draw a line. Here's the difference. Kindness is direct. You can say no, but you're still being respectful. You're not being a pushover. Nice? Nice people are afraid to disappoint anyone, so they constantly agree to things that don't align with their own goals or values. Being kind is about showing compassion, but with boundaries. Nice is about showing up at the expense of your own happiness. And let's be honest, when you're too nice, you don't get respect. People walk all over you, and you end up feeling drained and frustrated. Success doesn't come from being nice. Success comes from being assertive, knowing your worth, and standing up for what you want. Whether it's at work, in business, or in your personal life, if you're constantly putting everyone else's needs ahead of your own, you're never going to get anywhere. Look, successful people don't get to the top by being nice all the time. They get there by being clear about their goals, making tough decisions, and saying no when they need to. You don't get a raise for being the yes man. You get it by showing that you have the drive and determination to get things done. And sometimes that means stepping on a few toes. Imagine this. You're at work, and your boss asks you to take on an extra project. You don't have the time, but you say yes, because you don't want to disappoint. Now that project fails. And who gets blamed? You, the nice person who couldn't say no. That's not success. That's a dead end. Here's the real issue, the fear of conflict. That's what's holding you back. You're terrified of making someone upset or dealing with the uncomfortable feeling of saying no. But guess what? Avoiding conflict doesn't lead to peace. It leads to resentment and burnout. The truth is, conflict is part of life. You can't avoid it, and you shouldn't try to. Every successful person you know, they've faced conflict head-on. They've made tough decisions. They've said no to the wrong things so they could say yes to the right ones. And you can do the same. When you stop fearing conflict, you stop fearing your own power. You start owning your decisions. And guess what happens then? You become more confident, more respected, and yes, more successful. So, how do you stop being so damn nice? It's actually pretty simple. Start by setting clear boundaries. Start saying no to things that don't serve you. And here's the key. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to justify it. Just say no and move on. You'll want to start small. Maybe it's turning down a favor you'd usually say yes to. Maybe it's not answering that call right away. Let people know you've got limits. And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Eventually, saying no feels like second nature, and you'll realize your life feels a lot more in control. And here's the best part. When you start setting boundaries, people start respecting you more. They'll see that your time and energy are valuable, and they'll stop taking you for granted. So stop being so damn nice. Be kind, be respectful, but also be assertive. Start prioritizing yourself, because when you put yourself first, that's when the real change happens. If you've ever struggled with being too nice, drop a comment below and share how you're going to start saying no more often. And don't forget, subscribe for more tips on how to take control of your life and stop letting your niceness get in the way of your success.